right, Syrup Dishes here coming back at you. So I have been doing a lot of smoking of meats lately. I've got a small Traeger and I've got a small electric smoker. One uses the pellets, that's the Traeger. The electric smoker uses the small tiny wood chips that you soak in water. So this Thanksgiving season, I am getting 2 turkeys, count them 2, and we're gonna cook up some brine. And I'm gonna experiment with my own brine. That's why I've got 2. That way if one's not good, we can dive into the other one and hope it is good. So we're gonna try a cranberry apple brine, and then we're just gonna try an apple juice brine because I know that apple juice brine will taste good. I'm gonna try that one, but I'd really love to try this. So we're gonna mix up our brines in some plastic totes to fit the turkeys. We've got our turkeys out thawing. Hopefully they're thawed enough. Sometimes they're not, but they're gonna thaw a little bit in this brine too. And then the electric smoker is a little bit slower to cook. So we're gonna go about 10 hours in the electric smoker, and we're gonna shoot for about 8 hours in the Traeger. Check it out. Stay tuned. Let's see what we come up with. All right, so here's the deal. Not sponsored by Butterball. That's not what I got going on. Just happen to have a good price on those ones. Some people say these Butterballs are a little bit drier than, say, the O'Jenny turkeys or other ones. I'm going to be using some apple cider vinegar, some cheap, inexpensive apple juice, some cheap, inexpensive cranberry juice, a little bit of soy sauce, ton of salt. That salt is what is going to bring out those flavors. And then I'm just going to use some plastic bins here to put that in, soak the turkeys in. We're gonna go for about a 12-hour brine. Certainly you can add some other flavors. You could chop up some whole apples. You can put in some salt, garlic. Brines come in all sorts of different things, but what you're trying to do is get that salt to pull those flavors into the meat. So we may cut up some of these apples, soak them in there with it, maybe chop those up. Later on, put those in with the stuffing. So check this out. Let's get the brine ready to go.
All right, we're going to add about 128 ounces of inexpensive cranberry juice to our tote that is just about turkey size. We're going to add about 64 ounces of apple juice, again, inexpensive brand here. From there, you are going to want to add about a 3/4 cup to 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. The more vinegar you have, the more tart your skin's going to be, and it'll be real tangy. Add about a cup and a half of salt, depending on what you want. The salt is what you use to pull the flavors into the meat, and this is going to cure with this salt in the brine for about 12 hours. Then we're going to use about 128 ounces of water just so that the brine will fully cover the bird in this bird-sized tote. From there, you're going to use a whisk and you're going to get that salt to completely dissolve before placing your bird in the brine. Make sure that your bird is trimmed and clean, ready to go in there so that you're not spreading any bacteria. So we'll start with our second brine here in our turkey size Rubbermaid tote. This one's going to be purely apple juice. So we're going to add actually closer to 175 ounces of just regular apple juice. This one is going to add about 1 cup of soy sauce. I had just a little bit less than a cup of soy sauce. It's going to add salt, but also flavor to your mix. This one we're going to add about a 3/4 to 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. Then we're adding a cup of salt. Remember, we have the soy sauce in there. We don't need to add quite as much salt. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder and some minced onion. Now, this is just to my taste. You might not prefer that, but I think it blends pretty well. So what I do here is I just layer the top. So the measurement there is just layer the top of your container with it, and then you're going to pour your 130 ounces of water, again, so it covers the top of your turkey in your brine. And then again, you're going to whisk this all together, getting the salt and the other ingredients you've added to thoroughly blend in before placing your bird in the brine to the top. Now, your turkeys will float, so make sure you have a way to keep them sunk down in there. I was super creative. So as we get ready to cook our bird, I'm going to use Western apple smoking chips in the electric smoker. 3 o'clock in the morning, 30 degrees. We're going to set this smoker here to 215 for 12 hours. Now, I am going to increase it to 225 after 2 hours, and after 4 hours, we're going to increase it to 250. So it does take a little bit of monitoring from there. Make sure that you thoroughly rinse the salt off of the bird, both the inside and the outer layers, and pat it dry. We're going to stuff the neck and the tail of this bird using the skin flaps from the neck and tail to hold the stuffing in. Once we have the stuffing all the way in, we're going to add garlic powder, minced onion, and Italian seasoning as a rub on the outside of this. This is the apple brine, and it's going in the electric smoker. We're going to repeat this process for our cranberry bird, which you won't see on here, but basically follow the exact same process for the cranberry brine. The cranberry bird is going to go into the electric smoker. Let's get both of these put in there and get them cooking. All right, we're going to let these two birds rest for just about 20 minutes. They don't need to rest for very long. From there, we are going to get our temperature probes out, and we're going to get the stuffing out of these birds. That stuffing is going to be delicious. This particular bird is the apple brine bird that was in the electric smoker. Once you have the stuffing cleared out, you can start to carve this bird. How I carve these turkeys is to take a wing and then a leg and a thigh off, and I attack the breast by starting down the center line, and I take the entire breast off before slicing it. Once you have the entire breast off, I cross-cut that, and about half-inch thickness for those. Once we're done carving the apple brine bird, we're going to go to the cranberry brine bird. Now, the cranberry brine bird was in the Traeger. I got a little tired this morning when I was cooking it, and I set the temperature on the Traeger to 350, which was much too soon. So I peeled back the blackened skin there. Did not taste burnt, did not taste overdone, just got a little bit crispy and caramelized on the outside from overheating on the smoker. The meat was still really, really good. This bird, or both of these birds, ended up being very flavorful and juicy and moist. Hope you enjoyed, and happy Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful holiday. Let me know your thoughts on how you like to smoke and brine your bird. SyrupDishes with another awesome video. See you around.